So I made a video on this. My new, well, it's not new, but it's fairly new. New gun investment that I made several months ago. Because I kind of smelled something coming. And I made a video like 2 weeks ago, and I didn't even realize. You know, things have been kind of hectic for me. Yeah, our governor. I was saying, like, just grab your sack, man, and just say what you mean. And our governor here in Massachusetts, what's her name? Maura Hawley. Yeah, she did just that. I got to give her credit where credit's due. She's like, yeah, we're gonna ban everything. I think these leftist progressives, whatever they're called, you know, you guys might wanna, you know, every once in a while, just take a poke through this book here. Maybe give the Communist Playbook a break for a little bit. Maybe give this a poke here and there. It says right here, a well-regulated, which they're calling that right-wing extremist groups, militia, right? That must be a right-wing extremist group. Got it. So a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And what did they say? Well, they said there's school shootings. That's why we're going to take your guns. Because there's school shootings. So I looked up school shootings in Massachusetts. I just wanted to see. Couldn't find anything. But what I did find is a little article that says, well, Massachusetts has really strict gun laws. And they have pretty low gun violence. Could it be the demographic of people? Possibly. I don't know, because California has even stricter gun laws than we do here in Mass. We can get a lot of things that they can't get in California, and yet they have the highest number of school shootings. That makes perfect sense. You know, it seems like everything... Maybe they have good intentions, but I don't think so. You know, it's like everything that they touch turns to shit. But we're supposed to just trust them. You know, let's look back at, like, the whole heroin epidemic, right? It was an epidemic. People were dying. So they took something that was bad. It was bad. Yeah, there was people dying, right? But, you know, they had this whole war on drugs. Congratulations, you got most of the heroin gone. But then fentanyl kind of just filled the void. From China, coming up through the borders, everywhere. And not only that, in Philadelphia, they're mixing it with horse tranquilizer. So not only is it like 100 times deadlier, and even more people are dying now, but now you're on a time limit, because if you don't get off soon enough, your flesh is going to rot, and you're going to have all your limbs cut off. So you took a problem that was bad, and by you getting your little dirty fingers in it, you made it a whole lot worse, and a whole lot more people died. And your way of helping them is going down there and giving them showers and free crack pipes and needles. That'll fix it. Good thinking. I'm glad you guys are looking out for us. So I kind of smelt this coming down the pipeline, and because if this bill goes into effect, essentially I won't be able to carry my everyday carry anymore outside the house, and we won't be able to buy anything until it's over. I mean, they've come out with some crazy stuff in the past, but we fight back, and we will always fight back with equal and more force. So I got a few little extras real quick. I know they're gonna love this. Yeah, I know, Massachusetts. I know. But I'm staying within the laws. This is 2 Magpul magazines, the same magazine that came with the gun, except I was able to buy 2 of them. And this little, essentially, base plate that just connects 2 of them. So you have 20 rounds there, but you can only put in 10 at a time. You have 10 rounds, you take it out, Flip it around, and you have another 10 rounds. Pretty cool. And then I kind of spent some time, on the red dot and the magnifier. I was really looking at the EOTechs. They look really nice. The problem is the price is a little steep for me right now. So I settled, and you know what, Holosun, they have a pretty good name, and I think they make a pretty good product, especially for the price. This was a fraction of the EOTech. And I have to tell you, it's pretty clear. I was actually sitting here in my chair, just looking out through my window that's across the house, out onto my neighbor's rooftop there, and there's a tree, and I could see a squirrel. Obviously, empty, cleared, safety on, obviously. I had the red dot on, and I put that red dot on the squirrel, and it was just like this red blob covering the entire squirrel's body. But once you flip this magnifier up, man, it's pretty nice. 3x magnifier, I was able to make out his head, his tail, his legs. Yeah, it's pretty nice. It has a solar panel on it, so you can charge your freaking Tesla, man. This is green. This is saving the planet. So this should be in, Come on. And I thought, gunslings. This is a big one. I learned my lesson on gunslings already. I kind of got fooled with my shotgun. So the shotgun I bought just a, Amazon sling, and it, for the shotgun it's fine. But then I bought another one that was slightly more expensive, and it was elasticy, and it was said some kind of defense company or whatever. It was trash. This sling here, Blue Force Gear, it was $60. Yeah, $60 for a sling, but it's worth every penny. It's got really, really stiff webbing, so see how it kind of wants to even hold its shape almost. It's stiff. So that'll break in a little bit over time. It's got a nice shoulder pad. It's not too big. You know what I mean? So you can, this is a combat sling. Contrasted little job here, so you can make quick adjustments on the fly, tighten, loosen. And something cool that I just noticed about this Tavor. My 308 doesn't even have this, and I have upgraded stock on it. But with these little QD mounts, with the Tavor, when you click them in, you see this? There's stops inside. So it gives the QD mount some movement, but it keeps it from doing the old 360 and getting all twisted up on you, which is pretty cool. Both ends, same thing. Pretty gnarly, man. Yeah. But yeah, I knew it was coming. I don't know, I had a funny feeling. Massachusetts is always one step behind Philly. And that's honestly what scares me to death. So this new gun bill, essentially it bans everything. Anything that has a magazine, done. So I think under the new law, this is the only gun that I have. The only one that would be okay. It's a 22 revolver. Pew pew. This is my squirrel taker outer. Seriously, guys, that's insane. And they're saying it's because of school shootings. But luckily we have that little book that says shall not be infringed. And that book means a lot to a lot of us. And what that says is if you have a school shooting or something, that taking guns is not the answer, because it says it right in that book. So that means you have to use what God gave you, the little squash thing, up in there. You got to actually use it and come up with a new solution. I mean, if you have the money to send to transgender studies in Afghanistan, then I'm sure you have the money to maybe put 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 police officers in every school, whatever it takes. Metal detectors. Maybe stop using the news and the media to divide people by race, gender, and religion. And stop feeding that into the school system. Maybe school shootings would go down if you stopped pinning people against each other. Just a thought. Maybe. Or maybe you could have Pelosi do some, good stock plays, and then use that money to stop the school shootings. Just a thought. I don't know. Or you could regulate things and make things better, as you've done in the past, with everything else you've touched. Turned into shit. You look at California. I have a sister that lives out there. Right in Skid Row. Shithole. Democrat-run city. Shithole. Philadelphia. Another one. I have family out there. And get this. Listen to this. I was blindsided by this. So I had a family member out there who luckily is now staying here in this house with me. Which is a miracle that we were able to pull him. But see, the police do not arrest. They say, leave them alone. Don't arrest them. You notice people are going into stores and they're robbing these stores blind. And they say, don't arrest them. And then stores are closing down and they're saying that it's racism. That's why they're closing stores. I mean, are people buying this? Seriously? So they're not arresting. So you can get caught dealing or buying drugs and they will not arrest you. So at least if you are out there buying drugs, right, and you got thrown in jail for a couple of days, at least you would have a few days to at least think clearly and maybe make a different decision. But if you're stuck in that state of mind 24/7, you're never going to get out. And I offered to one of my family members to come here and stay with me back when he was, in that state of mind. He said no. And I'm like, okay. So we waited to see if get arrested or go to the hospital, whatever. And finally he hit the hospital. I was like, great. We got to strike now. He was in the hospital for several days, had a minute to think clearly for a second. And guess what? Without hesitation, came right out here. Son of a bitch. You know what I mean? But they're like, oh, we should just give them crack pipes and needles. That should help. We'll give them showers and food and everything they need to stay there. So I was actually talking to this outreach group that's out there. And they're helping feed and shower. And yes, they are humans. I understand that. And I understand the compassion. Compassion. You gotta be compassionate. But it's when you push it too far. You know what I mean? There's the yin and the yang. There's a balance. And that's why I believe guns keep things in balance. And as soon as they're all taken away, it's going to be the same thing. The scales are going to tip in a direction that is not good at all. And people are going to be shocked by it. And then it's going to be too late. Unfortunately, once it happens, that's it. It's done. Please, can I have my guns back? No. You're not getting them back. Sorry. You belong to me now. You're my bitch. So I actually, had several conversations with him. And this outreach group. And this outreach group was telling me, I was like, why? Like, you guys are, like, enabling. And she was like, yeah, well, I can't just sit by and watch. And this is going to be a problem for a while because Philadelphia is making millions and millions of dollars off of this crisis. And not only that, the police are on the payroll. Not all of them. There are a lot of corrupt cops in Philadelphia. A lot. And I have a family member that's actually seen them. Seen the police and the trappers, I guess, whatever they're called, the dealers. The dealers and the cops hanging out together, shooting the shit, laughing, having a good old time. Junkies coming in, buying their stuff. and going on their merry way right in front of the police. And nothing. No arrest, nothing, because they're in on it. Our country is going in a direction that's honestly scary. I mean, you look at the track record for a minute. California, Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, and somehow, Massachusetts and Boston has somehow, I have no idea how, kept their head above water. I think it's because there's enough of us here in Massachusetts to keep things in balance. But as soon as they chase us all out by going after the guns, because what do you think's going to happen? Anyone that's that important to, they're going to leave. They're going to go to New Hampshire. They're going to go somewhere else. And then they're going to rip this state down. But guess what? I have deep, deep family roots here. The town of Stoughton, Massachusetts is named after my relatives. So we've been here for a long time, and I'm not tucking tail, and I'm not running anywhere. I'm staying right here, and I'm going to be a thorn in your side. So I'm going to take you for a ride through where I just had to essentially extract a family member from. That's your war on drugs. That's look at that. That's a business model right there. Look at that. They made things better. You see that? Good job. Let's give them crack pipes and needles. That'll help them. Because that's what they're doing. Look at that. I actually made a video and drove out there like a year ago to try to, rescue mission. Failed. Jesus, man. See, at least if it was heroin, right? If it was just heroin, okay, yeah, it's deadly. And yes, you're addicted to it. But it's not rotting your freaking flesh off! Sorry for the language, but this is, this is hard. Yep, hello. Policies. Oh my God. And who's this city run by? Democrats. Massachusetts is always one step behind Philly with their bullshit laws. I'm gonna do my part and my best to keep this crap from coming here. And in Boston, they do make it uncomfortable for you. They make it very uncomfortable for you. So they kind of chase you around and keep you quarantined to one spot, and they incentivize you to not do that. But that's not what goes on everywhere else. And I wanted to understand this. Like, how is this? Like, it's not getting better. It's getting worse. Why? We think about humans, right, and just the way we are. What are the two biggest things in your life, like security wise, that keep you kind of like sane? Is family, a roof over your head, and stable money supply. If you lose any one of those, this is where you go, and this is what happens. So I started looking into the money. I wanted to understand money. I wanted to understand price action, the economy. I wanted to understand the Fed and what happened in the past. Look at history. Look at currency as a whole. We were on a gold standard back in the day. I mean, gold and silver was money at one point. In time, pirates used to bury their chests full of their treasure, right? It was all gold and silver coins. because that was money. And then we came out with this paper currency that was a silver certificate that you could turn into the bank at any time and exchange it for gold and silver. But then they decided to take us off the gold standard, and now we have this paper money. If you look back at the charts and look at the gold standard, like back when we were on the gold standard, you'll see that the US dollar was pretty stable. I mean, it wasn't crazy. It was kind of just, it was there. It moved a little bit up and down, but, things were pretty stable. But they take us off the gold standard, and the money went insane. So the Fed has the strings, and they're pulling on them. They drop interest rates, and it causes a rush of people borrowing money, and this huge boom in the economy. But the problem is it cannot sustain, it cannot last. And if you understand money, you understand what's going on, and you have money, you're able to use that to your advantage and ride that wave up and make a killing. But the problem is people, like everyday people, are just trying to live and survive, right? And things are the way they are, and then all of a sudden things get worse because of the money supply. Right, the money supply, and the economy gets crappy, inflation goes through the roof, and now people can't afford their rent, their food, right? And their solution is, we're going to give you food stamps, and we're going to give you free this and free that. How about just leave the money alone? That might be a good move. I don't know, just saying, because it seems like whenever they let the free market do its thing, there's plenty to go around for everybody. There's plenty to go around, and people don't suffer. And this isn't getting worse. But as soon as they stick their fingers in the pie, and they got to. I mean, they got to. They got to stick their fingers in the little pie and mix it up. And then this is the result. Because you took away roof, money, stability. If they don't have family already, it makes things worse. And people want to kind of a way out. It sucks. So they end up here. And then without, family or, support. Especially if you're not getting arrested and you don't have time to think clearly for 1 second, hey, I'm going to change. Imagine just being stuck in that state of mind 24/7, 365. You could just go steal, do whatever you want to do, get high, doesn't matter. Police aren't going to arrest you. I'm just going to stay here. They're giving me showers, food, free needles, free drugs. Why would I want to leave? Gotta have compassion. This is what your compassion is doing. I understand they're humans. I understand you need to be compassionate, but yeah, make sure you vote, and vote like hell, because it could be you or your family's life on the line. So this next election, no excuses. Go out and vote like an American. I don't care where you're from, what skin color you got. If you came here, and it kind of seems funny that they're trying to get rid of, and it just seems like to me that, this could be complete craziness, but it seems like to me they're trying to get rid of the last Americans, right? The hardcore Americans, and they just want to bring in other people from all around the world that are used to being told what to do and how to live. And great job, guys. You took a problem, and you definitely did a great job. We're excited to see what the future holds. Make sure you subscribe, give me a thumbs up. See you later. What in the hell? Nancy Pelosi, what are you doing here? Get out of here.